Thank you. Somebody should switch that on automatically. Anyways, I want to ask first, any disclosures of pecuniary interest?
In the open session, item 8A, B, under the delegations, as I'm an employee of the St. Leonard's organization.
Okay, thank you. So noted. I'm going to ask that we go into closed session. Need a mover and a seconder. Thank you. Did you get two there, Josh, Mr. Clerk? Thank you. Okay, we'll be back shortly. Thank you. Indigenous Land Acknowledgement and the National Anthem. Thank you.
We begin this meeting by acknowledging that Quinte West is on Indigenous land that has been inhabited by Indigenous peoples from the beginning. We thank all the generations of people who have taken care of this land for thousands of years. Long before today, there have been Indigenous peoples who have been the stewards of this place. In particular, we acknowledge the traditional territories of the Anishinaabe, Huron-Wendat, Haudenosaunee, and the Mohawks of the Bay of Quinte First Nation. This territory is covered by numerous treaties. We recognize and deeply appreciate their historic connection to this place. We also recognize the contribution of the Métis, Inuit, and other Indigenous peoples have made, both in shaping and strengthening this community in particular, and our province and country as a whole. This acknowledgement serves as recognition of the contributions and historical significance of Indigenous peoples across Turtle Island and demonstrates our collective commitment to meet the promises and address the challenges of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission within our community.
Thank you very much. I'm going to take a few minutes here and ask for council members if you've got any comments or any foresight or, I guess should say, information on what's ahead of us. Thank you. Councilor Boyce, you're on first.
Nothing this evening, Your Worship.
Aren't you going to mention something that's coming up, or
I think
you're afraid you're going to lose?
No, I think Councilor O'Neill will mention that.
Okay, all right. Okay, we'll pass it on. Councilor Sharp, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want to let everyone know they're out for public input on the potential plans for the Tucker's Corners Park area, the tennis courts, and the opportunities that could be there. And as they say in our press release, the ball's in your court, and we really want to have the feedback from everyone. The opportunities may be for tennis, pickleball, other sports within a court opportunity. But also, we really encourage everyone to, the information is on Facebook. You can get in touch with our Public Works Department or talk to your members of council. So I wanted to really bring that up, Mr. Mayor. And I also want to talk about, if I could, International Women's Week, and in particular, Friday, March 8th is International Women's Day. And the purpose of that particular day and this recognition is to inspire inclusion in a global way, celebrating the social, economic, cultural, and political achievements of women. And it's a day to recognize and accelerate women's equality and inspire a sense of belonging and support. And I just want to take this opportunity to recognize all of the women that work for the city, inside and outside. We have strong leaders, and Inspector Reeves, Jacqueline Grimman, Director, and other staff throughout our organization, and we have strong leaders in our community, and I just want to recognize all of them. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Councilor Katsobas?
Just to echo Councillor Sharp's comments about International Women's Day, I guess the three most important women in my life are my daughter, my wife, and my mother, in no particular order. And
I think your mother.
I went youngest to oldest. So I would just like to say that I'm just very fortunate to have a generational influence.
I agree with you. Councillor Card.
Thank you, Your Worship. I did want to just mention a couple of good events that are coming up very soon. I know they may have been mentioned at the previous meeting, but Quinte West Family Fest is happening March 10th, this Sunday from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Badawa Community Center. Should be a great family-friendly day. Lots of music, a pancake breakfast, face painting, an animal show and tell, balloon twisting, lots of great stuff. And on March 24th, at the Duncan McDonald Arena is the In Their Shoes awareness walk, which is another great event that the city puts on. We'll be visiting a lot of the partners in the community and learning about some of the challenges that our unhoused population faces and those with tenuous housing circumstances. So a couple of great events over the next few weekends, and love for anyone in the community to come out. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Councillor McHugh.
Thank you, Worship. Being a true Irishman, I'd like to wish everybody a happy St. Paddy's Day. We'll have a council meeting after it, so I ask you to party responsibly but enjoy the day.
An Irishman is going to, did you say party responsibly?
Yes.
Okay, I thought that's what you said.
I asked him to party responsibly.
We don't have to worry about Margaret. Councillor O'Neill.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I was very happy with the good news announcement last Friday by Quinte Customs Foods. They're going to invest $35 million in the former Nestle plant and St. Mary's facility. It's going to create 78 new jobs. I thought that's great news for both areas.
Sure is. And they've really knocked Rachel's Tarts out of the market. I shouldn't say out of the market, into the market. They've connected with Tim Hortons, and they've also connected with markets in the southern states. So we know that the wheat producers are going to be happy, the sugar, and especially the chickens, because they use a lot of eggs, don't they, when they make tarts? The last time I heard they do anyway. So,
I'll have to take your word for it.
they've also built a warehouse that'll be atmospheric controlled so that the tarts are kept cold and the racking is all computerized. So they did tell us how many tractor trailer loads a day they're going to put out. Like it's fantastic work, and I just hope they continue and we get some more good information or some good news in the near future. Councillor Stedall.
Thank you, Worship. I'm going to talk about pickleball? Okay. Sorry. I just want to echo previous Councillor Sharp's comments about the International Women's Day, which is March 8th, and just make a special note that the City of Quinte West's first female deputy mayor has been appointed this month. Councillor Sharp has taken the first for the City of Quinte West ever, so congratulations for fulfilling that honor. And just some other celebrations that are being held. On Friday night is the Business and Professional Women's Association is holding a Bold and Brilliant Gala, and to celebrate women, and also to highlight some speakers, as well as this Saturday, Quinte West Library is having an Empowering Voices, which will include inspirational women from Quinte West. So there's a couple of events that are coming up for that. So
Great, thank you.
thank you.
You don't want to mention pickleball? No, I didn't want to hear anything about pickleball anyways. Councillor Armstrong, you're next.
A local individual, Matt LeBlanc, has been representing Quinte West at the Special Olympics out in Calgary this past week. I've been waiting to hear if he's medaled or not. His mom is Andrea. Her father was Vince Steiner, who was a teacher at Trenton High School, so I've known this family a long time. And I hope at maybe the next council meeting we'll have him here and you could recognize him on behalf of the, okay, perfect.
Keep in touch. Thank you. Councillor Kunson.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. I just wanted to comment, at the last council meeting, a petition was delivered by some neighbors in neighborhood of the Front Street project. And in their petition, they were requesting to be notified of any further development, and all I can say is that that development and any further development goes through our wonderful planning department, which then comes to the planning committee. And once it goes through the planning committee, it then comes to the council to be voted on. And in their petition, they were asking that they be notified of any further development. Well, any development in any neighborhood is notified through a formal process that's been in play as long as I've been on council, and I'm sure long before I was on council, rules and regulations set up by the province of Ontario, which our city staff follow. So I just wanted to make a comment, and in case others were listening and had concerns about how developments go forward. We did have a scenario in my own ward earlier in the summer. The neighbors got together. They attended a planning meeting where the public meeting for that particular development was held. Lots of questions and concerns were raised at that time. So I don't see that this particular development was any different than any other development that goes through the planning committee. And I've been sitting on the planning committee for, I believe I'm on my third term in the planning committee. And we had a discussion at that time at that planning meeting about this development, and any concerns that were raised were answered to the satisfaction of the planning department, and the development has been approved and is going to go ahead as fast as the developer can make it happen. And I wish him the best, him or her the best of luck. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Freeman or Councillor Reid, either one, go ahead. One.
I have nothing this evening, thank you.
Councillor Freeman?
I think everything has been said, and certainly congratulations to all the women in Quinte West that either work from home or work wherever and work hard to look after their families. Congratulations to each and every one of them, and it's your day too.
Thank you very much. Sorry?
One last thing, random acts of kindness. Do you want to comment?
Go ahead.
It's on. That's all I know.
It's on this week. It's signed right in front of my car.
That's right.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, it is. And that's most, I think that's something we can all do, and it doesn't cost you a lot. So thank you very much. Random acts of kindness, yes. I just want to mention our Housing Accelerator Fund. We did apply to the federal government for funding to help us with our accelerator, our housing issue. We were turned down, but I can say we were denied. I can also tell you that there were only I think 2 rural municipalities who received funding. That's it in the province of Ontario. Only 2 rural municipalities. So I think we would be fair to say that the rural Ontario has been ignored, and rural Ontario is very important to all of us and to all the province and to all the residents in particular, not just Quinte West. So what we will do is that we will take the time to reevaluate our application, and if there's do improvements in it where we feel will help us if this does come up again, so that we're prepared, and maybe we get some more funding. I guess I shouldn't say some more funding. Maybe we get some funding. So right now, the federal government is telling us that the money's all been I guess you'd say allocated, and there's none left. So the last time we talked about infrastructure and we applied, it was the same story. The money, there wasn't enough money to go around, or more applications than money available. And so that's the same this time. All I'm suggesting is that, you know, let's not stay on the same track. Let's look at how we can, the federal government can increase the amount of funds available, and that way give us all a better chance to continue with the housing needs in our community. Councillor Stedall, did you have a comment?
I have a notice of motion actually at the end of the agenda in regards to that same thing because
Okay,
I
well,
agree,
I
I
can
agree with you.
tell you that I did speak to the Premier as recently as yesterday, and when they left on Friday, I knew they were going out the 401, and I told them that the bridge was safe, but it won't be for long, so, because it needs a fair amount of money put into it, so I did send that forth, so, but we had a good day. We had a great visit in different places in in Quinte West and in Belleville. Danini Chocolates is one that they visited as well. So it was a good day, and the last stop was Quinte West OPP detachment, and that was great. The Premier met a number of the officers who were there and said that he appreciates the work they do and really admires them, and indicated the province has their back. So that's good, because we do too, and we need them all on a regular basis. So I think that's pretty well all that I've got to say. There is a pickleball tournament coming up, and yeah, I could suggest that I would donate $100, but that's if either one of the two councillors want to speak about it. But if you
Yeah,
don't,
I'll speak
I won't
about it,
have
Your
to
Worship. Thank
donate
you.
any.
Thanks. Anything for 100.
Point of order.
Yeah. April 3rd, YMCA Strong Kids program. We were going to bring it up next week. I mean, at our next council
Well,
meeting.
I'm not
but
donating
but,
both weeks.
Okay. Not 100, but maybe 500.
Oh.
But $100 is great, and thank you for all the support you've given us, Your Worship, over this. And like I say, it's the Strong Kids pickleball tournament in support of Strong Kids at the YMCA. You can donate. It's Councillor O'Neill or myself. And there's a great group. We're going up against Belleville. Last year we beat Belleville. This year should be no different. We've practiced a lot, and we're ready to compete. Thank you for the 100.
That's good. Councillor O'Neill, do you have anything to add?
No, I think Council Boyce added to it, and you can actually even go to the YMCA. You can donate right at the YMCA, or you can contact us through City Hall or anywhere to
Donate
do
at the
it.
Y, you'll drop a weight on me or something. That's what will happen. So,
But it's for a great cause.
all right, I'll save my money. I only get so much allowance, so I'll have to get saving. Okay, was there anyone else? Director Jardine, are there any comments before we leave this that you'd like to make on the what we can do with the accelerator process that we've put together?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor, to you, to Council. I think one of the, after receiving the unfortunate news on the funding, one of the things that we've been reflecting on in the last few days is just by virtue of the way that the fund was set up, and the need for municipalities to create a housing action plan in order to apply for the funding. And I think we spoke about it at the time when Council approved the housing action plan. The fact that the housing action plan is a legitimate document and is a roadmap forward for the municipality, irrespective of the funding. Now, obviously, the funding goes without saying. The funding would enable the initiatives to happen quicker, and to increase the level of incentive that we can provide. But the initiatives included in the plan are still legitimate initiatives, and they're still the goals of the city to move forward on our housing mandate. I think the next step for us as staff will be to reflect on reflect on the plan now that we know there's no funding in place, and present some information to Council on where we think the city's resources, both financially and staff, will be best placed in order to move some of these initiatives forward. So we'll be bringing a staff report in short order to Council on that.
Thank you. Councillor O'Neill?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I feel the federal government's wasting our time. We fill out all these applications and we don't get approved for any of them. Like, if you want to have housing initiative, and you want us to fill this out, at least give us some money. Don't keep saying no to everything we do.
We don't disagree. That's one thing we agree on. Yes. Any Councillor Card?
Thank you, Your Worship. I did want to say how disappointed, as I'm sure the rest of council are, to hear this news. I think that as a counselor, I think one thing that's frustrating listening to all of the levels of government, federal and provincial, agree at the size and the scope of the crisis, but they just aren't seeming to support us with the dollars that we need. And I appreciate Director Jardin's comments, and certainly we have policies ready and the action plan will not be wasted, but it really is dollars that we need, as we all know very well. And to come up short with this, the provincial building faster fund not being eligible for any of those monies as well, being below the 50,000 threshold population, is just profoundly disappointing. And I don't know how we can deliver without partnerships for the higher levels of government. We don't have the tax base to do this alone, and it's profoundly disappointing, as other local mayors and municipalities have also communicated.
Thank you. Okay, all right. And again, I'll ask any disclosures of pecuniary interest, and maybe you could mention it again.
Thank you, Your Worship. Item 8.1B, I'm an employee of St. Leonard's, so I will declare a conflict of interest on that.
Okay, thank you. All right, so noted. I need approval of the agenda, please. Moved by Councillor Quinte, second by Councillor McHugh. All in favor? Carried, thank you. Approval of the minutes of the regular council meeting held February the 21st, and that the resolution that the minutes of the regular council meeting held on January 21st, 24 be approved, and further that the minutes of the closed session council meeting held on February 21st be approved, and minutes of the, okay, we'll do that first. Minutes of, okay, minutes of the, no, I'll do that under the next resolution. Okay, I need all in favor of the first resolution I just read. Okay, carried. Any questions or comments on those minutes? Anyone? All right, the next one is resolution that the minutes, I need a move and a seconder for this one. Councillor Stedall moves, Councillor Armstrong seconds. Minutes of the Special Personnel Committee meeting held on February 21st be approved, and further that the minutes of the closed session Special Personnel Committee meeting held on February 21st, 2024 be approved. Comment?
Thank you, Worship. Within the minutes of the closed session, there was direction further that staff be directed to prepare and execute the flexible work arrangements policy. And this is for staff with the option to work from home for up to 3 days per week, providing they meet all the requirements of the policy. So that it says that the flexible work arrangements policy and remote working policy and any other policies required be enacted. I would request that the full policy, when it's completed in full, be brought back to council in open session for information.
Thank you. Any other comments? All in favor? Carried, thank you. So now delegations. Okay, we're on first. Jesse Kuipers, Executive Director, Pregnancy and Family Care of Quinte West, will address us, please, and request regarding consideration of city development fees and building permit fees. Come on up. Thank you.
How do I move the slides?
Yeah, just speak into the mic, Jesse. You're on.
Do I just click this? Yeah, okay, perfect. Thank you for having me. I'm Jessie Kuipers, the Executive Director of the Pregnancy and Family Care Center here in Quinte West. I did want to do a quick presentation with you, and we'll just work through some slides together. So my first slide, oh gosh, I love technology. Oh, there we go, is a Tim Hortons cup, which I understand is a little bit odd for my presentation, but I'm going to explain myself. I wanted to give a little bit of a story before I go into why I'm actually here. So about several months ago, I am finishing my day at work. I am, like many of us, hitting Tim Hortons before I'm going home to 4 kids and a husband and getting, in my next little fix of caffeine. And I'm wearing what I'm wearing today with my logo on from the office on my sweater. And I get to the drive-through window, and the young woman that's in the drive-through window is freezing while she is about to hand me my coffee. And she couldn't give me my coffee. And I said, "Are you okay?" And her name was Hannah. And I don't know, am I not doing this right?
There it is.
Oh, there she is. And Hannah just said to me, "Do you work at the pregnancy center?" And I said, "Yes, I do." And she said, "I just had my break 10 minutes ago, called my best friend to tell her I was pregnant, and I have no idea what to do, where to go, who to see, who to speak to, or what to do with my situation, and I need some help." And she says, "Can you help me?" And I said, "Yes, I can help you." So Hannah and I backed up the line for about 2 minutes in the drive-through, and 3 days later, Hannah came into the center. And we worked with Hannah. We did counseling. I did 3 hours of counseling with her that day to help her through the situation. We helped get her education plan in place. We booked her with a doctor for prenatal care and got that done. We helped talk to her about how to tell her parents that she was now pregnant and how this conversation could go. And we obviously gave her some material supplies. We do work in coordination with the food bank quite a bit. And so we helped get her all the things that she would need for the beginning of her pregnancy, and we are still helping her now. So she had that baby a few months ago, and she's doing well. She's in school. She's thriving. Her parents are obviously know about the situation. There's a baby now, and everybody is on board, and she's completing her education while she's doing it. So it's a great success story. This morning, I'm going to talk to you about a new building that we're putting together in town. I called about some new pavement that was needed in the building out front, and the lady said to me, "Are you Jessie from the Pregnancy Center? I recognize your voice." And I said, "Yes, I am." And she said, "You helped me 4 years ago when I was a single mom, and I had no idea where to go or what to turn when my husband left me, and I couldn't tell you how much I appreciate your help." So we are getting, I think, a deal on our paving situation that is coming through. So that was good, but it was great to hear from her and to hear that we have impacted her life as well. Last year, in 2022, we assisted 598 clients, in 23, 784. And when I talk about these numbers, I want you to understand that that is the person that we dealt with on that day. That doesn't include their partners, their children, their extended families, the parents or the grandparents in our community that now take on children because their children aren't able to care for their children. So it doesn't include those numbers in those numbers. So that is just the direct clients that we saw, but we're definitely working with a lot of people every day at the office and having a significant impact in this community. We provide free material supplies. Like I said, we are an extension, and we do work. The lady who runs the food bank in town used to work at our office before she now works at the food bank. So we work side by side consistently to meet the needs of like diapers, wipes, formula, prenatal vitamins, all those things that are needed. We do counseling. We have 150 courses that we offer on parenting, that we do other Zooming or in person with clients, and we refer to community partners in the community as well, and we do a fathership mentorship program. So we're definitely very busy, and I just want to make it clear, we do everything for free. So everything in the center costs nothing to anybody. We fundraise every single dollar that we use. So for every staffing, for our rent, what will be a mortgage payment coming, all the supplies, everything is fundraised in this community. Our partners that we're working with are here listed above, everything from Career Edge to Thrive, Youth Hab, 3 Oaks, Quinte Housing. These are all agencies that we're working with that are in the community. We give them clients and we refer our clients onto them, and they are sending clients to our way as well. Oops, back one. So this is the building that we bought. I think a lot of you recognize it. It's 35 Ontario Street across from Freshco. So we had businesses within this community. Once we realized that we were outgrowing our space and could no longer stay there. This community, within 3 months, rallied around us, and in 3 months, we've raised $670,000 to help pay for this building. So the building is bought and purchased and paid for at this time. So that was amazing. That happened from October to January. So on January 15th, we bought the building for $620,000. And we are going to change that building. It's kind of ugly. We're going to change it to this. So this is what it's going to look like. This is now an engineered stamp plans that we have. I think the building permit is waiting upstairs for us. So it's obviously a little bit better looking than what we're going to have in this community. I just wanted to show with you as well. I wanted to share too that right now as it stands, every trade that's coming through has volunteered their time and is not asking for finances to do it. And we have everything from Divots Excavating, Quinte Mobile, Hubrooks, Primerica, Vanbark, Ducon, Peak Engineering, SV Plumbing, Crown Ridge, the funeral homes, the realtors in this community are all with us right now and supporting us and helping us get this building to happen in this community because they understand the need of what's going on. So this will be our front foyer when the doors open. This will be the care closet, which is a room where people come to get all their free supplies. It's all free maternity clothes, diapers, wipes, formula, anything that they could need or want to care for a child. And again, we'll hand it to them for free. This will be one of our classrooms that we'll have. It has on the far end a playroom for children. We have a lot of volunteers that give every day and every week at the center. And they are there partnering with us and giving of their time to lead classes. We've got lots of nurses in the community that are leading these for us. So it's been wonderful. This will be our new donation receiving space where people can drop off their donations. We have volunteers then clean them, prepare them ready to be sent back out into the community. Whoops. The campaign that we started back in October was for $1 million, and that would purchase the building for us, renovate the building. We're going to add an addition off the back of this building of 700 square feet. It will build classrooms, counseling spaces, a storage unit, and it will allow us to be mortgage-free if we meet the $1 million. And if I'm mortgage-free, then I can hire more staff and get more volunteers the equipment and supplies that they need. I do want to point out, too, the health unit in town was leading prenatal care in this community, and they no longer lead prenatal care. They have given all prenatal care to us. They received funding to do prenatal care. We received no funding to do prenatal care. So we have to fundraise now the money in this community to give prenatal care to our young mothers that are pregnant. So what we're asking for you today is to help us cross the finish line. We have development fees and building permit fees. So the development fees are $4,237, and the building permit fee is $1,034. And we're asking to have those fees waived to put it back into the building instead of paying for the fees.
Thank you very much. Any questions or? Councilor Sharp?
Thank you, through you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you for your presentation, very informative. I just want to touch on what you just said about the health unit. Did you say they are getting funding for prenatal care, but they're not offering the program, or they don't get the funding anymore?
So the health unit offered prenatal care previously, and they received, obviously, government funding to run that prenatal care. They are no longer running prenatal care out of the building here in town. Okay. So they dropped off the supplies of, like, when I say supplies, like, it was very minimal. It was like in a tote. They dropped it off at our office and asked us now to do prenatal care. We obviously don't want to leave anybody with that care. So we took it on, but then had to figure out how to fundraise the money to bring the people in to lead the program because we wanted qualified people teaching the classes.
Well, I appreciate that because we are represented on the health unit, and I just wanted to be clear on that if we could help source any funds.
Yeah, you know, so they got funding because they were they're legislated to get funding, right? But we aren't, because we're and we are a nonprofit charity. We are registered, but we are we don't get the funding for that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Councilor Quinte.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. Just a question to staff. We have a fee waiving policy and a budget for that. Is there, has an application for the fee waiving policy been presented to Jesse Kuipers to go through the process? And is there any funding left in the budget for fee waiving?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Through you to Councillor Quinte, it's my understanding that the fee waiver policy that the city currently has only relates to facility rentals and does not cover requests such as the one being made by here tonight.
So what we want is that we need a motion to direct staff.
Well, we do, but we've already done our budget for the year, so.
We need a motion to direct staff to put together.
A new policy?
Right.
I'd like to make a motion that our staff put together a new policy, fee waiving policy for other fees that citizens and organizations can come to the city and ask consideration in either waiving fees or partially waiving the fees in a similar fashion that we have for the facilities fee waiving policy.
Okay. Councillor Stedall.
Just to follow up with that, I guess what we're really looking for is a staff report that is somehow how we may assist, whether it be through waiving our fees. And I also wonder if our community grant program, I think we had a little bit of money that was left in there, but not very much. But if that would be something, another potential, and a staff report would probably outline any of these other options that might be available for us if we could get that.
So we need the staff report, right? That's what we need. So right now we're in a state of limbo here to help you, but we need more consistency so we can follow and do things in a consistent manner. Councillor Sharp.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I will second the motion because we're going to have a similar delegation asking for consideration. I take it with rezoning fees, which we have no policy for. And so that would be, and I just want to speak to Councillor Quinte's intent. This would wrap all of these that don't fit into facilities.
Correct.
To come back as a policy for consideration. So I would second that motion.
Thank you. Any other comments? Anyone else? Councillor Freeman, did you have a question or?
Yeah, no, not a question, Mr. Mayor. Thank you. I just thank you for your presentation. You do so much more there than I even imagined. I can't even fathom what it must be like for a young girl coming, with this horrible knowledge of a pregnancy that she doesn't know how to handle, what to do, how to take care of herself, etc., and finding you at her line at Tim Hortons. I can't even imagine how delighted she must have been to hear you could help her. And if there's anything we can do to help you, and including reminding the public that you've had a whole lot of help, but you need a whole lot more to keep this wonderful, wonderful place of yours continuing to help young families. So I thank you for that. And as far as donations go, perhaps you could give us a list of what you do need so that we can even ourselves try to help you out in some way, because this is amazing. I love the work you're doing, and the fact that everybody chipped in on that building is just amazing. That's wonderful. What a great community we have here.
Absolutely, I would second that for sure. Yeah. Yeah.
We have a new counselor.
Oh, gosh.
Right. So maybe what you could do is send information to our CAO, David Clazy, with what you need, and that way, or if you can tell us verbally, then everybody would know, but whatever works, tell me.
Like when you are saying what we need, are you meaning like material supplies
Yes.
based for this new project or like for running the center?
You listen, you're the speaker, we're only listening.
Because I can give you a long list.
Oh, you go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we always need supplies in the closet for parents. This community is really good at donating, like young parents are giving back. I do want to say the average family that we're working with right now, or client that we're working with, is 30. So people think that we're dealing with just teenage pregnancies at the center, which is actually a small minority of what we're actually working with. We spend a lot of time with families that are already developed. It's pregnancy and family care, right? So it's a lot of time devoted to keeping families together that are struggling, right? So, and trying to keep them, working together, husbands and wives, partners, whatever the situation may be, so that they can thrive as a family unit and work well. And quite often a pregnancy has happened and they're working through having to do that. We have had a lot of contractors donate the cost of what they're doing. Like we had a plumbing company just said they were going to give us a hot water unit, and all the furnace and like flooring companies, and like the list is endless. So of how this community has like rallied around us in 3 months. So to get this work done. The engineered drawings were all donated as well. So I think for right now, there's still some supplies as far as material supplies that we need to finish the project. We need things like windows and siding and those type of things. We haven't got those yet. So although Vanderlane's, the gentleman who owns Vanderlane's is on our capital campaign committee, so I'm sure he'll be
Is there
generous.
any way you can put up a slide with contact, how people can get in touch with you, or you did have it, didn't you, on one of your slides?
Yeah, so like our office telephone number, is
Yeah,
that what you mean? So
yes.
our office number is obviously 613-392-0074.
613-392-0074.
Right, yeah. And then there's always supplies, like it's hard, we have supplies that we need for the closet, that to give back out into the community. We always need money for the programs that we're running, to run them efficiently and to have the right tools in place for the nurses that are teaching them. Obviously we need staffing, like staffing is always an issue, and me trying to find ways to pay for staff, right? And it's a constant thing, and we're always, like we run the mom event, some of you have probably heard of that. We run that out of our office as well, to raise funds for the office. It's an ongoing process of trying to keep the doors open, right? And we've been very good. And yeah, so we saved a lot of money. I have to say, 7 years ago, it was me in an office by myself. And in 7 years, we've grown to now being in this space. We have countless volunteers and a very large, well, not a very large, but we do have like 6 staff members, and we're growing, right? So once we move into this space, we'll need more staff because we are expecting to be much busier. Yeah.
Thank you very much, and keep up the good work, and we'll certainly do our best to help you any way we can. Thank you.
Thank you. So where do I go from here? Do I just write a...
You're going to have to wait, because we've got the council doesn't have a policy, and we need to have a policy in place so that when we are asked for specific, I guess you'd say, fee waivers or whatever, we need to be consistent in what we do. And that's what we don't have. So we've got to put a policy together so that we can do things properly. And so you're going to have to wait for us to.
So should I follow up with somebody in so much time?
Well, I think somebody will follow up with you, correct? One of these 4 guys or 6 guys on the side here, I don't know, maybe CEO Clazy, you'll follow up with them?
Okay, all right, that sounds great.
Okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Mayor, we still need to vote on the motion on the floor.
Yes, all in favor of the motion? Carried, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Kelly Nolan, you're next. Kelly, come on up.
Good evening, Council. Thanks so much for inviting us to speak. My name is Kelly, and I've been with St. Leonard's for 25 years. This is my board chair, Linda Seeley. I think we too might be a little too soon to the gate without a proper policy in place to ask for waivers. We did fill out the event policy one and found it was odd. So we are thinking we still need to move forward in hopes with our project, and that, is it in our best interest to cover the fees to move forward and then come back for an ask, or how best to move forward. We can't sort of move forward without knowing what our zoning looks like. We were understood, and I believe it's still to be understood, that the property 178 is a residential zone for group home. What we are asking for to add youth emergency shelter beds. And that's where we're at right now. And we can't sort of promote or move forward in our discussions until we sort of see where our zoning lands.
Director Jardine?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, through you to Council. So the zoning application has actually been received and will be scheduled to come to Planning Committee. So we'll keep moving on that process. What I'd maybe recommend is make payment of the fees, and then the request later on when the policy is in place will be for reimbursement.
Yeah.
That help?
That works.
Okay. Okay. Any questions? All right. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for coming. Okay. Okay, we're now at public input. Anybody here for public input? No? Okay, we're good then. All right, we're on with corporate service resolution minutes of the Accessibility Advisory Committee meeting held on December 11th. Be approved. Mover and seconder, please. If Councillor Sharp moves it, seconded by Councillor Card or Councillor Reid? Okay, Councillor Card, we'll get to Councillor Reid next time. Okay. All in favor? Thank you. Resolution that the Council enact the attached bylaw in support of Quinte West's involvement in the prudent investment offering of one joint investment board, which approves an amended one JIB agreement, including a revised terms of reference to increase the maximum number of one JIB members from 10 to 12, and 2, approves the one JIB records retention bylaw and the delegation to one JIB secretary of the necessary powers and duties to deal with the records of one JIB, and 3, approves changes to the amendment provisions of the one JIB agreement, and that's it. So, questions or comments on that? Do they get a mover and a seconder or no? Need a mover and a seconder for that resolution. Councillor Card, Councillor Boyce. Comments or questions? Councillor Steno.
So I'm just looking to the Director of Finance for a bit of background on this, because this is something that's fairly new and quite complicated. And
yes.
Yeah, through your worship. So this agreement that we have with One JIB, so One JIB started in 2020 with 5 municipalities. We joined in 2022, and there are now 11 municipalities. And because this is such a new thing, the new prudent investment standard the province allows us to invest with, this group, One JIB, is trying to reorganize itself a bit so that it keeps up with larger municipalities that want to join and making sure that there is proper governance. So the agreement is being updated so that a couple larger municipalities can consider joining this One JIB, and to ensure that they have proper governance. One of these items is, in number 2, is around records retention. So they're just, I'd say in general, it's a matter of housekeeping from council's perspective, but it allows the One JIB to continue to grow and improve its governance.
Okay, go ahead.
I understand they're going to change the complement of the size of the board to expand it. And they're also looking at a new potential fee methodology that's going to be introduced that could save us in our fees. And I know one of the questions that's come up in the past is about getting better reporting on our fees. Will that be something that we see?
Yeah, through worship. So I would separate the two. Yes, the new fee structure could have benefits. So there's a base fee, much lower than our current fee, plus actual fees on top of that, which yeah, cumulatively should be lower, but we'll have to wait and see how that plays out. In terms of reporting, this is a separate question, and we have some dialogue with the group on reporting of fees. It's a bit of a challenge. Again, like I said, they're just a few years old, and they're still working on some of the reporting. So I'll continue to push for better reporting on fees.
Okay.
Just Mr.
All in
Mayor.
favor?
Just Mr. Mayor,
Oh,
one
sorry.
more.
Go ahead.
Ask Director Denowden, we do know what the fees are.
Yeah, through your worship, I did put the fees. I believe it was in a report last council, so we do know what the fees are. Yeah,
I just wanted to clarify that.
Yes.
Thank you.
All in favor? Carried, thank you. All right, next one is resolution of staff report 24-013 FIN regarding staff salaries and benefits under the Public Sector Salary Disclosure Act 1996 be received. Need a mover and a second. Councillor Boyce moves, second Councillor McHugh. Yes, go ahead. Comment?
Yes, Your Worship. Just a quick comment on this. So this act was implemented in 1996, and this
1800, did you say?
1996.
Oh, sorry.
1996. Sorry. This sunshine list is, so there was some calculations that were done on these numbers, and because that 100,000 has never changed since 1996, the equivalent in today's dollars, given cost of living increases over time, would be $58,000, or $58,000 would have been the calculation at the time. There's one of the treasurers has actually done the calculations on that. So I think this list is, and putting it forward in this method is a requirement from the province, I understand, and I just feel that the province needs to take a look at this legislation and update it.
So we should send a letter to the Premier acknowledging that it's time you updated your policy.
We could.
Correct? Is that what we're saying? I agree.
Okay.
Thank you.
Put that
We
motion
will.
on the, need a motion?
All right. All in favor? Carried, thank you. Next one is resolution that staff report regarding council remuneration be received. Moved by Councillor McHugh, seconded by Councillor Sharp. Comments or questions?
Just one comment, Mr. Mayor.
All in favor?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'll make the motion, but I just had one comment.
Go ahead.
Because it does further state that there's not only on top of council remuneration, there's also compensation, such as in my case for sitting as a member of the Quinte Conservation. I donate my remuneration from Quinte Conservation back to Quinte Conservation. Thanks.
Thank you. Okay, all in favor? Carried, thank you. Next one is resolution. Council received the 2023 fourth quarter capital update report as information. Moved by, I need a mover and a seconder for this one. Need a mover, Councillor Card. Moves, seconded. I need a seconder, Councillor McHugh. Any questions or comments on this report? All in favor? Carried, thank you. The next is the council received the 2023 fourth quarter city operating update report as information. Moved by a seconder for this one, please. Need a mover and a seconder. Councillor McHugh moved. Councillor Armstrong second. Any questions or comments? Councillor Sharp?
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Through to Mr. Denouden, or Director Denouden. Question regarding fourth quarter operating surplus. I think in the report, I'm just trying to pull it up, we ended up with a balanced budget in 2023, or very close to it, not much of a surplus. And I think there was a percentage there, and I wondered if you could comment, and I'm sorry, Director, I should have let you know I was going to ask that.
Yeah, so basically this fourth quarter is an update of the end of the year and how we've done. Yeah, we are within 1% of the budget here. It's a very small surplus. If any, we are still doing some final entries, some final invoices and things that are coming in, accruals that we are just finalizing now. But the way things are looking based on this report are that we are right on budget.
Thank you very much. That's excellent.
Thank you very much. Councillor Stedall?
So just to clarify on that, it says the transfers to reserve exceeding the budget was $560,000. Is that what we're considering as the surplus then? Is that?
Through you, Mayor. Yes, that's what it's showing right now. But like Director Denouden said, we still have some accruals, some year-end entries.
Speak into the mic because I'm not hearing you, Matt. Sorry.
Sorry, I'll repeat it. Through you, Mayor. The 560 is what is showing currently as the surplus, but we still have accruals to enter and non-cash transactions to do for the audit. So that's what it's sitting at currently.
Okay.
So my last question would be, when are we expecting that we would get the final year-end results back? July?
Through your Mayor, we are currently working through the audit right now. The auditors will be here March 18th, and then we usually present in May at the audit committee for the final statements.
So if I ask if you have any money today, what are you going to tell me?
None extra, sir.
No is the right answer. When I ask for money, you don't have any, because I'm not taking any from anybody. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, the next one is is it the fourth quarter, or did we just do that one?
Sewer.
Fourth quarter.
Water and sewer.
Water and sewer, okay. So, council received the 2023 fourth quarter water and sewer operating budget update report as information. Anybody, any questions on that one? Councilor O'Neill, yes.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I've asked staff with the closure of the Cascades paper mill to prepare projections to determine how this will affect the 2024 water and sewer budget. So I think it could have a profound impact, so that we should be up on it.
Well, who wants to comment? I know I did see figures, but.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Through you to the rest of council. Yes, staff are currently working on a report that we hope to bring to the next council meeting, which will outline some of the comments from Councillor O'Neill, as well as just give council and everybody just a general update on where things are at with that.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Anything else? Okay. All in favor of that one then, I guess. Carried, thank you. Next one is the minutes of the Planning Advisory Committee meeting held on February 15th be approved. Moved by Councillor Quinte, second by Councillor McHugh. Any comments or questions? All in favor? Carried, thank you. And next is that council approve the community grants request of $5,000 from the Quinte Young Professionals to be funded from the 2024 community grants budget, and further that council authorize the mayor and clerk to enter into an agreement with the Quinte Young Professionals for the construction of beach volleyball courts in Centennial Park, and further that council direct staff to include funds in future year operating budgets to support the ongoing maintenance costs of the courts. Councillor McHugh moves, second by Councillor Boyce. Comments or questions?
I have a question.
Yes.
Thank you
Go
very
ahead.
much. I think this is an absolutely wonderful group working together with the city of Quinte West. But I did have a question. The location that was shown on our information, that's where Scottish Irish Festival have always held their marching and stuff. I just wondered if that would be a conflict there that maybe we should double check with before. That was my only concern.
Well, we haven't had the
And
Quinte
perhaps
Irish.
Scottish Irish aren't.
We
I know
haven't
we
had
haven't
it in
had
a
one
couple of
for-
years. So anyways, Director Grimman, have you got a comment or?
Thank you. Through you, Mr. Mayor, to Councillor Reid. Yes, that was the former location or an area that was used for the Trenton Scottish Irish Festival. The festival organizers haven't been able to bring that festival back since the pandemic. And as far as we're aware, we have reached out in previous years, and that group is not moving forward with executing that event any longer.
Thank you for that. I just wanted to avoid any, conflict with it in the future. I think it's an excellent location. I just wanted to verify that that worked with the Scottish Irish Festival that we've had for so many years. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And again, to appreciate that the Quinte Young Professionals have been working together, and they'll be helping to coordinate the volleyball there. My question relates to future operating budgets. It says that we are to include funds for future year operating budgets to support the maintenance. Through to staff, is there any indication of what we are talking about, what kind of maintenance and additional costs? Any estimation of these costs, please?
Anybody? Go ahead.
Thank you, through Mr. Mayor, to Councillor Sharp. Under the financial impact statement, we do outline an estimate of what the maintenance of those courts would look like on an annual basis. Director Angelo provided input onto those figures, and we are projecting about $7,800 annually to maintain those courts.
Thank you.
Through you
Go ahead.
again, and I appreciate that it was covered. Is this additional staff required?
Director Angelo, go ahead.
Through your worship, yes, partially that is correct, yes, in addition to some additional equipment that we'll need for grooming of the courts itself on a regular basis.
Thank you.
Okay. Councillor Stedall?
So just a question with regards to being able to book this space. Is that being looked after by this YPN group, or is that going to be something that the city's going to be looking after? So that's that's part of the staffing cost? Is that what that is? Sorry.
Through Mr. Mayor, to Councillor Stedall, yes, the intentions of the group are to turn the courts over to city ownership, and so we would bring those online with our facility booking system. The nature of beach volleyball courts is not similar to a lot of the sports fields and the arenas, in which there are many user groups that would it would be more of a mix of perhaps one or two groups using permitted time, and then the rest for passive and kind of active use. We have been in contact with the Quinte Young Professionals. We understand that there is interest from the Quinte Sport and Social Club to have some permitted use of those courts, and we would facilitate that within our facility booking office and bring forward fees as part of the 2025 fees and charges bylaw to apply to that as well.
Councillor Card.
Thank you, Your Worship. And yes, I do appreciate the report from Director Grimmin and strongly support the application. I think it's a good usage of the remaining, most of the remaining community grant funds. And the yearly maintenance estimate actually was a little bit lower than I was kind of guessed at, so that was a pleasant surprise. And as Director Grimmin mentioned, with the potential revenue from the Quinte Sport and Social Club setting up their league there will defray a large percentage of those costs, and maybe we get another couple of random rentals, tournaments and whatnot, and maybe it ends up being a break even for the taxpayer, but certainly a benefit for the wider community. I think more kind of family friendly, free, low cost, just need a volleyball if it's not booked down in Centennial Park, creating more traffic down there, more activities, and certainly supporting the pop-ups and other investments that we've made down there. I think it's a win-win, and they're going to oversee all the building and raise most of the funds here. So I think it's a win-win, a very strong project. Thanks.
Thank you. Councillor O'Neill.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I too am in support of it. I'm glad that they're making this effort to do this. I'd also like to thank staff. It was a quick turnaround to get this report back, and thank you for doing that.
Right. And I think we have somebody sitting here who's done a lot of work. I won't mention their name, Morgan, at all, but done a lot of work to put this together, and it's not just happened overnight. So it's like all other things, you put a lot of work into it, and it's nice to see it happen. So as people have already said, thank you very much, and let's keep on, keep the ball rolling. All in favor? Thank you very much. Okay. Now I think I'm at the council approve City of Quinte West bylaw 21-31, being a bylaw to authorize the corporation of the City of Quinte West to enter into an agreement with Gregory Carrier, Mountain View Asphalt Limited, for the sale of land described as part of Block 29, Registered Plan 137, quotation, Plan 21R-18472, Frankfurt Ward, City of Quinte West, County of Hastings. Moved by Councillor McHugh, seconded by, I need a seconder. Seconder, Councillor Card, thank you very much. Questions or comments? Questions or comments? All in favor? Thank you very much. Carried. That's great. Okay, correspondence, decision item is from Rhonda Bateman, who's CEO of Lower Trent. Chief Administrative Officer, Lower Trent Conservation, requesting a motion of support from each municipality within the Lower Trent Municipal Group regarding the appointment of Matthew Richmond as municipal representative for the Trent Conservation Coalition Source Protection Committee. Okay. I don't think that really even impacts us, but we'll do it anyways.
I'll support
Councilor
it.
Kunze moves it.
Yep.
Seconded, Councilor McHugh. All right, any comments, Councilor Reid? I'll let Councilor Reid second this because I promised her a while ago, so thank you. Thank you.
And she's wearing Irish scarf.
She's wearing Irish as well, okay. All right, well, I don't have to worry about her behavior as much as I do yours.
Who are you talking to, Mr. O'Neill?
I think the chance of her misbehaving is the same as my wife. I'm still waiting. I shouldn't have said that, should I? Oh, geez, I'm getting worse. Anyways, any questions or comments? All in favor? Thank you very much. Okay. Council proclaim September 2024 as Prostate Cancer Awareness Month in the city of Quinte West. And further, that the Quinte West sign and the Veterans Skyway Bridge be illuminated in the color blue for the month of September, pending no scheduling conflict. So, moved by Councilor McHugh, seconded by Councilor Katsoulis. Questions or comments? All in favor? Thank you very much. That's carried. Printed information and non-printed. Need a mover and a seconder for those, please. Councilor Sharp, Councilor Card. Any? Okay, I'm at that's printed and non-printed, and all in favor of that? Carried. Thank you. Notice of motion. Notice of motion. Councilor Stedall.
Thank you, Worship. I have two notices of motion. The first one has to do with the housing fund, which we talked about earlier. So it's a little bit lengthy. I first of all will need a request that we waive the rules of procedure so that we can pass this motion tonight because it's timely. This has to do, I can.
Well, I'd like to have a chance to read it before I pass it.
So, no. So I'll give a little bit of explanation and background instead of waiting. So what's happened is, first of all, so it starts with the city of Quinte West is in need of $28 million to complete the funding for the West End trunk sewer main replacement in 2024, and that's crucial in our ongoing development of housing. And whereas the city of Quinte West requires $58 million in funding to upgrade the Trenton wastewater treatment plant upgrade, building to accommodate new homes built. Those are two items that we've already brought up with Ministry of Infrastructure, those two major programs. And whereas the city cannot afford to increase water, sewer, or tax rates to fund all of this infrastructure, and whereas putting it on debt to build the projects will increase costs back to the water, the sewer, and the tax rates, or cause increased costs to our developers. The city is also experiencing a housing crisis from all citizens, but specifically with regards to over 250 required housing units for the military members of CFB Trenton. And where the city we've approved the housing action plan with a projected 831 new residential units to be completed based on the anticipated housing accelerator fund for the next 3 years. And whereas the federal government denied the city of Quinte West the housing accelerator fund, which you spoke to earlier, Your Worship, and whereas the city of Quinte West is not currently eligible for funding under the Provincial Building Faster Fund, as its population is below the threshold, and that is the fund that was from the provincial government, which our neighboring municipality received $1.2 million. We're not eligible because we're just under that 50,000 mark. And whereas the city of Quinte West may make application, so we have an opportunity to apply for the Housing Enabling Water Systems Fund, but there's only $200 million for the entire province in that fund. And the province would fund up to 73% of the project that we apply for, only up to a maximum of $35 million. So there's not enough money, and there's not going to be enough money for us to get to complete these projects. We're still going to have to raise taxes or water or sewer rates. And whereas the federal government is not contributing to help the province increase that pot. So the province is putting up $200 million, but the federal government has not stepped up to the plate to put in their money as they have in all of the other grants. Our previous grants were one-third, one-third, one-third. That's the old numbers. But the one-third from the feds is not come into fruition. Therefore, it be resolved that the City of Quinte West calls on the federal government to reevaluate their lack of funding for municipalities with a population of less than 50,000 in rural Ontario, and to make the available funding for infrastructure programs to help build infrastructure for much-needed new homes, and further, that the province of Ontario be asked to invest more than the currently allocated $200 million into their Housing Enabling Water Systems Fund, because that's our only option right now, and further, that this motion be circulated to Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, the Federal Minister for Housing, Ryan Williams, MP, Premier Doug Ford, and the provincial ministers of Ministry of Infrastructure, Ministry of Municipal Affairs and Housing, Todd Smith, MP, and all municipalities in Ontario for their support. What we're asking, what the resolution is basically, it's everything that we discussed at the very beginning of our meeting. It's the same thing that Prince Edward County has indicated in their releases to there was a release today that they indicated their dissatisfaction from not getting this money. I know Loyalist Township to the east of us, they were the same, and there was only one municipality, I understand, really in the Eastern Ontario catchment of the Eastern Ontario Wardens Caucus area that received the Housing Accelerator Fund.
There's only two rural, but one east.
Correct, right? So, the reason I would request that we suspend the rules of motion, thank you, because the deadline for the Accelerator Fund is April the 19th. And also included in that is that, so we have to get our application in, and the money's not going to be there, but they're saying you got to have shovels in the ground for September 2024. So, like, the probability of us getting more money is ridiculous. It's ludicrous that we get denied, and it's because
I know what you mean.
yeah, but it's our size, our population size, where we are fitting in, and we really need to appeal to the federal government, but we are and also the provincial government, but the federal government is really, they are one of our main. We've got a little city here with the military base right here with the federal government, and it's been indicated from the military resource centers that there's 250 sitting on that waiting list looking for housing, and the federal government's not stepping up. So I would ask for the rules be waived with that motion, and then the second motion is that we have this motion put forward and be voted on tonight.
Questions on the motion before I go through all the... On my mic, sorry. Thank you. I saw the flag. So what we need to do is a motion to suspend the rules. Mover and seconder, Councillor McHugh and Councillor O'Neill. All in favor of suspending? Thank you very much. Carried. Okay, so now the motion's on the table. I need a mover and a seconder. Councillor Stedall moves. I need a seconder. Councillor Boyce seconds. All right. Oh, any further comments? All in favor? Thank you. Carried. Okay. Now,
Sorry.
you said you had a second
I have
motion?
another motion, sorry. There was an item that I spoke to earlier that we passed the minutes, but we didn't actually, there was no motion, so I put a notice of motion on the floor, and we can, I'm not asking for rules to be waived so it can come to the next council meeting, is a request that the full policy on the flexible work arrangements policy, the remote working policy, be brought back to open council for information. And this is, I'm under Section 224 of the Municipal Act, is that making that request.
Okay, it can come back when we do the bylaw. Will the bylaw be ready for next?
Mr. Mayor, that notice of motion will come to the next council meeting for discussion.
All right, okay. All right, okay, all right, then we'll do it that way, okay. Next council meeting, thank you very much, okay. Anyone else? Anything else? Okay, I'm good too. I think I'm at the page I want to be, which is called adjournment. Resolution confirmation, I need,
Bylaws.
oh, I did, oh, did I not do bylaws? Okay, well, bylaws be read first. I need a mover and a second for bylaws. Counselor mover, seconder for bylaws. Counselor Boyce moves, seconded by Counselor McHugh. Be read first, second, and third time, and that said bylaws having be read, passed, the mayor sign, clerk sign. Thank you. All in favor? Thank you. Okay.
Question?
Okay, the next one is the confirmation bylaw. That's the one I need. Confirmation, 2 for confirmation. Moved by Counselor Armstrong, seconded by Counselor Reid. Thank you. Question or comment? All in favor? The last one is pick 2 for adjournment. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Let's hope spring is here, the flowers are out, and we don't need frost.